Hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to episode number 16 of Pokemon Spectrum. We had quite a session last time, so I think now we're just going to, have a transitionary episode before we move on to whatever the next big thing is. But before that, we're going to do our warm up. This warm up question is going to be in light of the recent evolution of Fern. And I guess I want to ask a question from the perspective of your Pokemon. How does your Pokemon feel about evolution? And by that specifically, I want to ask things like, does a Pokemon actually believe that being in their evolved form is better? Do they? I think that numbers wise, you can argue that an evolved form is stronger physically. Um, do they think that a Pokemon is of an evolved form is better though? I think that naturally, there might be some Pokemon who are in the mindset that if you're a Pikachu and you meet a Raichu, maybe you might treat a Raichu differently from a Pikachu. Almost like almost like how you might treat your elders differently, if that makes sense. It doesn't necessarily come from a bad place that you might treat an evolved version of yourself differently. Maybe that was just the way that you were raised. You know, that's a Raichu. You should treat Raichus with respect, all of you Pikachu over there, because whatever. And that's my curious. That's how, because I think that that might help when Fern comes back and starts introducing herself as a five tails, however many tails Fern has now. Four tails. Four tails. Okay, it's like four eyes but with tails. So yeah, what are your Pokemon's thoughts on evolved forms in general?
So for Ew, he likes being the little cute Grimer. Like he likes being himself, but uh, with recent events and also knowing that there's going to be some danger in the future, I think he is seriously starting to consider evolving into Muck. But there are some things that would have to happen before he would be confident enough to do that. So I think he looks at evolution as a way for him to be able to help Tiffany more effectively and also help the group more effectively. So I think that's how he feels about it.
I think Remy, from a personal perspective, I think he's super self-conscious with himself. On the outside, he puts on a big front of being awesome, but I think deep down he's just hiding the fact that he actually doesn't believe in himself, so he doesn't believe he can evolve, and that's why he's stunted. I always visualized him as the actual runt, if there were more, or even if he's an only child, he feels like he's the runt of the bunch because of the upbringing. How he feels about it from other Pokemon, I think he feels like a little piece of their original self is gone when they evolve. I think that outward change he associates with something that changes on the inside as well, and that's probably what's limiting him. But he feels like if he knows someone like a Fern, and then she looks different, for him, she is different. She becomes different. So.
For Lux, it's more he doesn't have an evolution. He only
Right.
has the one form. So it's a weird question. It's like some of them are still the same Pokemon after they evolve. Some of them change, not always for the better.
As someone who doesn't evolve, does Lux feel like he got the short end of the stick? Or does he feel like, I don't need to evolve? My kind doesn't have to improve. That's
I got
why
it
we
right
don't
the
evolve,
first
because we don't
time.
need
Come
to.
on.
So you got it right the first time. All the rest of you have
Exactly.
to evolve, though.
As a player, though, it's like, I would like another form, but, Lux's perspective, I'm perfect. Come on.
Okay.
Why would I change? Me, the player, I would have liked an evolution, but just wasn't in the cards.
Would Lux have an issue with Pokemon treating evolved Pokemon better than, say, him, for example, or just in general?
Well, he wants everyone treated equally, so
That doesn't happen in the
no.
Pokemon society as much. I think that
True.
many Pokemon, not all, many of them do treat evolved forms better.
Yeah, and therein where Lux's opinion of is, well, that's just stupid. That's still that person. They're just slightly different now. Meh.
To put it into perspective of real life, there is studies that show that if a person is quote unquote attractive, if they're better looking, they tend to be treated better. And it's just one of those things that, I mean, charisma is a thing. Like, you get an advantage if you have a high charisma. So that's sort of like how I see, when I say treated differently, that's kind of how I see it, is that they do have a little bit of advantage in how they're treated by other Pokemon.
I think that Bullet, more subconsciously than not, might treat Pokemon differently, whether they're evolved or not necessarily treating, the older Pokemon better or worse, just differently. So, I mean, I think he would approach a Pichu differently than he would a Pikachu, differently than he would a Raichu, for instance, but not necessarily like more and more respect or something like that. I'm sure he makes assumptions based upon the form they are, but in the anime and in the games, evolution doesn't equate to age, sort of thing.
Right.
But evolution as a concept, he's totally cool with. I mean, he evolved due to the magic of friendship, so so it was a positive thing for him.
Yes.
But trying to think of how he would react to Fern, I think it'd be interesting because he knows Fern by this point. But then, suddenly she does look much different. I don't know if she'll act different because that's in Ella's court. But I think that subconscious change where it's like, I know you, but now I don't know you, that might trip him up for a moment. So
if Bullet was being completely honest, would part of him feel, if he met a Zubat, would part of him feel like he has a little bit of superiority?
Oh, I absolutely think he'd feel like a mentor kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, let me show you the ropes. I've been there,
Okay. Cool.
Fern's initial thoughts about, and up until very recently, the thoughts about evolution is like, when Pokemon evolve, Butch and Cassie and all the other Team Rockets treat them better. They're like, oh, good job, nice job, you're so much stronger and better now.
Yep.
And it's like, and they always complain, oh, why aren't you evolving? Like at least you'd be useful then. And she's like, oh, maybe if I evolved, then people will like me and I'll be useful and everything would be better and I'll be normal then. Because it's like, if I evolved, then I'll have 9 tails. It's more of a type of thing where she was clearly not very good at what they wanted to do at a job and stuff. And it's more of like, maybe if we just shove this ice stone at you, you'll be better.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, go attack things. Sometimes Pokemon have personality changes when they evolve. Here you go. No? Oh.
So what happened to Cassie when everybody else was having their little scenes separately outside of the base?
And last we saw, she was just going down the elevator, right?
The last we saw, she was going down to the elevator, and you are currently hearing
because he's just a good sport.
This is in real time, by the way, so feel free to say something. Beep.
So there should be 3 possible doors, and she went into the second one, or the one on the second floor, got out on the 4th floor.
F4B.
Yeah.
So there you are. You are now right in front of the elevator of F4B. And by the way, when the doors open, I think that Tim will actually say to you, Lady Cassandra, just to inform you that the authorities have been notified of your whereabouts They've been notified of the hideout's whereabouts and should be there in approximately 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so once the doors have opened and everything, yeah, she will run out. And what does she immediately see in this room? I'm assuming that not everything is like perfectly translated from the map, so.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that there's anything on the tables, but she does see a few machines that are just machines that are there just to keep the lights on, basically.
Okay.
There are extra generators up here, but nothing necessarily that I think would be of interest to you in the immediate area that I'm aware of.
Yeah, then in that case, she'll just ignore that room and keep going to this one. Any problems there?
Well, the door is shut, but
So with her key card,
yes,
okay,
you can open the door. Yes.
cool. Then inside, same thing. What does she see? Just upon initially looking around.
Very posh, well-decorated suite. There might be some, snacks on the table, but there's, other than that, you do see one of the main computers that the director would use, which probably is chock full of juicy data.
Probably.
If you can get your hands on it.
So, on top of that, is there anything on the walls, like posters, pictures, anything that she might think to look behind?
I don't think so, but you're welcome to check them if you want to. I don't think while you were there at Team Rocket there was any mention of anything behind any of the pictures. Although,
But if she sees pictures or whatever on the wall, it's like, nope, okay, so it wouldn't be a big thing, I wouldn't think. I mean, yeah, to her it would take 2 seconds, and it could mean the difference between like finding something and not. So she, if there was something, she'd just peek behind it, but whatever. Okay,
she can. She won't find anything.
Cool. Then yeah, we'll go check out the computer. Oh, there's the computer.
Well, currently the computer will require a password. It'll be locked.
Okay. Is there a hint?
You'll hear a voice in the speakers. Lady Cassie, did you wish for access onto the director's machine?
Oh, are you connected to this one too?
I have been working on a way of breaking into the machine for the ever since the authorities were called. Lady Madison and I thought it would be way too risky to attempt it prior to that. We did not wish to be caught. I can continue trying to break the code if you'd like.
Yeah, how soon do you think you'd be able to?
Approximately 30 seconds.
Alright, you get started on that. And in the meantime, she will keep looking around. If there are any drawers to pull out, if there are any shelves to look at. And I can roll, of course, intuition or perception or whatever if you'd like.
Yeah, roll a perception.
Okay. I'm gonna reroll that, because screw it. Well, 21.
21? Yeah, I mean, you'll do a quick rummage through the drawers and everything, and for the most part, I don't think that you'll find anything of major interest in any of the drawers, except that you will find a schedule that shows, some of the Team Rocket members that are still out. Random names that, it's not of any importance really in the story, but just random names of Team Rocket members that are still out somewhere. But where they are located or where they were sent and approximately when they're going to be coming back. So if anyone, like authorities, might want to be waiting for them when they arrive back, that could be useful.
Right.
The only other thing here that you notice is, you'll see notes. You'll see like notes, which is like directions for the rest of Team Rocket on the plan of what would happen if Cassie does not agree with certain things. Basically, you show that they have like a plan B, C, D, E, F. If she accepts, if she doesn't accept, if she doesn't accept. I don't know if it matters to Cassie at the time, but you will at that moment realize that there was never any danger of them doing physical harm to your mom. The worst that they were going to do to your mom was to change her memories so that she doesn't have to suffer through any possible ideas of ever having a child who was brutally murdered. But
Okay.
By that point, however, you will hear Rotom say, "Lady Cassandra, I've managed to break into the computer. Although there is a specific sect that is surrounded by extreme security that I'm still having issues getting through. But you should have access to a majority of the files."
And I can look through it while you try to break through the rest of that?
He says, "Yes, I will attempt to."
All right. Then what can she see from what's available to her?
The main thing of interest that you will see is the controls to actually opening the vaults. So there actually be a remote, like from the monitor, if you wish to open the vaults, either the Pokemon vault or the weapons vault. You have access to that now from that
Would
machine.
Cassie have known then that, like, I mean, could the keycard not have done that too?
I think the key card could have done that too.
Okay.
But this is more.
So
of a
there's either remote
convenience.
access or in person
Correct.
if you have the authority. Okay. Good to know.
You also see files of a. You also see a folder that talks about a really interesting serum that apparently Team Rocket had stolen from some academy a few months back, that they basically were trying to reproduce in order to soup up, in order to basically soup up Pokemon so that they can become more powerful. Most likely for their own personal benefit, not necessarily for the Pokemon's benefit.
Is the file just the fact that they were looking into that or had stolen it, or does it actually have information on the serum itself, like science-y stuff?
They had stolen a sample of the serum, and they have been trying to reproduce it, reverse engineer the serum.
So there are notes in this?
There are notes of the serum. There's also there is also text in there mentioning that vials of the prototype serum as well as the original serum is kept in the lab.
Okay.
But there are notes that are notes explaining some of the tests that they have been running on the Pokemon. It's a lot of information, so I don't know if it's something that you have time to read this.
Well, no, that's the
document,
thing.
but
Yeah,
you-
once she sees this of interest, though, she'll sling her backpack down one shoulder, quickly unzip a small pocket, pull out a flash drive if that is acceptable.
Sure.
I know they're a thing in this universe, so I
Yes.
assume she would have one. So she'll pop that in and then just start a file transfer, if that's okay.
Yeah. You
Cool.
can.
In the meantime, then, go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say in the meantime she was going to search for more terms. You know how you could open like my documents, but then there's the whole search bar and everything.
Yeah, you'll search for
Something
more
like that.
terms. I mean, is there anything specifically that you're going to be searching for?
Would there be anything popping up for Omni?
You'll look for Omni. Surprisingly, there's nothing. There's
Okay.
nothing on Omni.
How about Arceus?
Nothing.
And then nothing, I assume, for Toxic Plate.
No, there is. You do find a search on Toxic Plate, and you find, because there's an inventory list of some of the things that they've acquired over the years, and you do find a message saying that there is a Toxic Plate in addition to a Dread Plate that is stored in the vault.
Okay. Well, I mean, that one shouldn't take long. She'll drag and drop that one too. Two last search terms I think would come to her mind. Johto.
Yeah, there'll be some mention of Johto, but nothing really of interest. Nothing that says, "Oh, we're going to Johto." It's more like
That's fair. It is a vague term.
non-related. Yeah, it's like non-related. Like
Okay.
entries,
So nothing
I
is
guess.
like imminent or whatever.
No.
Or at least nothing that would jump out as such from a brief search like that. Then lastly, I think just Pine.
Yes, there is. There is a mention of the Pine says that there are no results for Pine within the immediate folder, but you do see that there are results for Pine in the folder that's behind the secure area that Rotim is currently trying to get into.
Okay.
But the convenient thing is, after approximately 5 minutes into this whole thing, Rotim will say, Lady Cassie, I have good news and bad news for you.
All right, spit it out.
What would you like me to start with?
Good news.
The good news is I have gained access into the most securest files of this machine.
And the bad news?
The bad news is somebody noticed that I was trying to gain access to these files and had a head start in deleting several of the major components. It looks like, from what I can gather, the specific files they were deleting was information specific to the main headquarters of Team Rocket. I was not able to catch or restore these files. However, I was able to keep most of everything else on the machine. So basically, whoever noticed was trying to make sure that the whereabouts of their main headquarters is still a mystery and not accessible.
Well, there's always a chance someone could salvage some information from the hard drive of this. Is there any way you could block them out in the meantime, make sure they can't delete anything else while I'm looking?
The block is in place. They no longer have the ability to delete anything else.
Hey, thank you, Tim. Then
welcome.
she will... So is there like a Pine folder or...
Absolutely.
Okay. then
Yes.
You'll just, in the meantime, or for now, I mean, drag and drop that whole thing onto her drive.
Yeah.
Let that go? Okay. How soon would all the transfers be done, do you think?
Well, are you trying to collect the entire folder of data, like secret folder data, or just the Pine portion? I guess is my question.
What were the other, like, titles and such?
They were files. They were basically files of almost every single member of Team Rocket in that base. Records, personal records of every Team Rocket member in that base. Their stats, their abilities, where they came from, why they're there.
Okay. Then
Strengths, weaknesses.
Then yeah, she'll just take her Pine folder.
Okay.
I mean, the way she's figuring it out, Tim has a block on the system and the cops are gonna show up. So she doesn't really have use for the others. She just wants to know what they have on her or her family.
If you're just taking the Pine folder, it'll only take 20 seconds.
Okay. Then once she's done, she will safely eject her flash drive. And then, quick glance around, but then just start running back to the elevator.
Okay. You'll get to the elevator. I'll say that at this point you have 8.5 minutes left. 8.5,
Okay.
I would say.
Cool.
Where would you like to go, Lady
She will
Cassandra?
be back to the second floor.
All right. If you'd like a change of tune, please let me know, Lady Cassandra.
Yeah, give me something a bit heavier.
I will save that for the last trip.
Okay.
You're on the second bottom floor, I guess. F2B,
Cool.
I think.
Yeah, she'll run past Ghost Fern. And
Run past Ghost Fern. Yes.
she'll head down the stairs,
Nice.
or down the B stairs rather.
Yes. Did you unlock the vault doors from up there?
No, but she has the key card.
Okay. Yeah, you can use the key card to unlock that door.
Cool. So she does so. Anything immediately jump out at her, literally or not?
Probably the first thing that your eyes land on is a bunch of RPGs on the right hand corner. There's a bunch of RPGs in there. There's weapon there's a lot of weapons in here. Handguns, machine guns, assault rifles.
Mhm.
Like these guys are packing, and they're also the walls are also, this one wall is lined with different types of ammo. So many of the ammo that they use are elemental in nature. So fire, ice, electricity, poison, things like that. But you can easily equip a small army with the weapons that are in this locker.
Okay.
There is also a locked box in one corner of the room, and just to help you out, I'm going to say that one of the things that you did find of interest in the director's desk was a set of keys. So I'll let you say that you have a set of keys.
So this is a physically locked box.
This is a physically locked. It's like a physically locked security box, and I'm gonna say that you can easily determine what key goes to that lock if you wish to open it.
Yes, she would.
You open the lock, and as soon as you open it, to your pleasant surprise, you will see 2 Arceus plates, a toxic plate, and a dread plate.
Finally got plates, guys. It only took this many sessions.
Yes.
Okay.
Cassie!
Then yeah, she'll drop to one knee and drop her backpack in front of her and put the plates inside.
Yes. Other than that, besides the heavy artillery, there's nothing else of interest. I don't know if you're interested in getting any of the weapons, but that's...
she's on a bit of a time crunch, so she'll close the thing again, and if it's a quick thing, lock it back up.
5 minutes left, Lady Cassandra.
All right. If I'm not done by the time they get back, think you could stall them for a bit?
I think I might be able to distract them for a bit.
Just keep the door locked.
Oh, all of these Team Rocket members are contained. None of them can open their doors.
No, just keep the entrance locked so the cops can't get in.
I can do that, yes.
Right. And if there's nothing else, she will run down the D stairs.
Okay.
Cool. Bam. So are those rockets actually there?
Yeah, those rockets are actually there. These are the scientist rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the scientist rockets are not really... they're not normally sent out for anything combat related, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to try to defend themselves. You can't see it, but there's actually are walls in the lab with doors. So those particular Team Rocket members are locked in those rooms. But they'll notice you coming down the stairs, and they don't look very happy to see you.
Happy as in like mad, or unhappy as in mad, or unhappy as in like fright?
I would say half of them are upset at you, are angry. The other half are scared.
Okay. So again, like both up here and down here, walls with doors?
There are walls with doors, yes.
Okay.
And if you want, there's nothing outside of the doors that are probably any interest of you. If there's anything of interest to you, it's probably inside those rooms.
Okay. Then yeah, she'll go to this door first because it's closer.
Sure.
Trying the handle or the knob or whatever.
Did you wish to gain access to this, Lady Cassandra?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I must warn you that once you go into that door, I have no way of protecting you.
I have plenty of ways of protecting myself, thank you.
Very well. You'll hear a and then the door will unlock itself.
Okay. So assuming she has a moment before she gets attacked or anything?
Yeah, she does have a moment if you want to do something before the scientists attack you.
Yeah, she'll just hold up the key card and say, "I'm Cassandra Pine, and I'll have you know that they did not give me this willingly. If you don't want to join them, get down on the ground with your hands behind your head."
Roll and intimidate, please.
Sure thing. 17.
That's good. All right. So the 2 scientists will begrudgingly put their hands up, and then they will drop to the floor.
Cool. So with essentially free reign over this room, she'll walk around. Is there anything of note again that jumps out at her, whether that be research notes or another laptop or physical things even.
Yeah, you will be able to actually see a glass case that contains what you believe to be prototypes of the serum. It seems to match the diagrams and sketches from what you've been seeing from the director's suite. So that seems to be them.
How big is the case?
I mean, I would say it's a 4 feet wide, 5 feet tall case. 4 feet wide. It's attached to the floor.
Okay, gotcha. Is it like easily opened?
Right now it's unlocked, so if you want to get the contents of the case, you have to physically open it and put whatever it is you want in there. I think there's probably about a dozen prototypes in there, a dozen vials in there.
Cool. Then yeah, she'll open the lid, and again, assuming nothing happens, she'll take a few, like 3 or 4, and slip them into her pack.
Sure.
Cool. Anything else jump out? And again, at any time, I can make a perception or whatnot.
You don't. The only thing that jumps out is that you don't see the original serum in there. You don't see the original stolen serum in that room.
Okay. And again, just to be clear, no notepads or clipboards or things like that.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, there are, but I don't think that there's anything there that is really ridiculously new. Well, if you really want to, you can probably grab a laptop and get some of the most current research on the serum if you want. There's probably a random laptop there that you can just swipe, which was essentially be probably what you're looking for. But that's up to you.
Yeah, for now she'll just leave then. That room.
Okay. All right.
And on her way out, she'll just say, I don't want to hear anything. Stay down. And move on to the next door.
All right. I'm assuming that you will inform Tim to open that door, and he will unlock it. Meanwhile, he will lock the other door again.
Cool. Okay.
Are you going to do anything when you enter that room?
Yeah. I mean, she'll essentially just step inside and give the same spiel. So, do you want another roll?
I would like another roll.
Cool.
These people will require. Their difficulty is going to be a little bit higher because they're not scared of you.
That's fine.
People.
That was.
They will be.
That was about like the highest I could get on my intimidate last time, so I'm gonna fail this one. But I got 17 again. That's.
Oh, okay. And that's still really high. So I'm gonna say one of them drops to the floor.
It's 2 points off the highest I could get.
One of them is gonna drop to the other floor. The other one is just like not. It's just like not gonna drop down, and he's going to actually attempt to fire at you. But if you wish to do something before he does, that's up to you. Before he fires at you.
I mean, is it like initiative versus initiative kind of thing to see who shoots first?
Sure. What is your speed again?
Basic info. It's 15.
Okay. He's gonna get a shot
That's
at
fine.
you first. So you're going to take 20 points poison damage. It's not going to be that much.
Yeah. For the record, though, I'm not poisoned, right? It was just poison type damage.
I didn't roll high enough for you to get poisoned.
Okay. Is that special defense or?
Special.
Sorry, is it an
defense.
attack or special? Okay, thank you.
Special attack, yes. Special defense. What do you do? Okay, so he'll take 21 damage and he'll drop his weapon. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Cool. He drops his weapon. The pistol clanks to the floor.
You wanting to rethink this yet?
The scientist says, "You got what you came here for. What are you still doing here?"
Making sure there's nothing else I want.
He will stare at you defiantly and says, "And what exactly else do you want?"
In the meantime, she will take her shift to move over to the table and start looking. So, is there anything of interest there? And he can very well interpret this as hair shrugging him off at this point. So.
I mean, yeah, there's probably a some sort of mechanical or technological device there. I'll let you roll a technology roll to sort of determine what it is.
I'm gonna re-roll that. Nope, 22. Darn it. It's a risk.
22 is really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so the device that's on the table right now it's basically a device that you attach to your ankles, and it's supposed to improve your jump. It's supposed to improve the ability to jump and leap.
So these are these relatively small things, kind of just like ankle weight sorts of deals, or?
Yeah, they attach. Yeah, they just clasp. They're like bracers, but for your ankles, and they clasp on, and they're supposed to help enhance your jumping. Essentially, yeah.
Well, she will take those.
Okay.
And put them into her backpack.
All right. Probably would be about 3
Before
minutes.
she takes them, then I'll say, since he has like, what are you looking for? As she finds them, she'll just hold them up a little bit and then put them in. So he knows
Okay.
she knows.
All right. He doesn't respond to that, but you take them. Across behind his shoulder, however, you do see one last glass case that looks like it is the original serum that was stolen by Team Rocket.
And size-wise, I assume it wouldn't be anything huge.
Size-wise, wouldn't be anything huge.
Okay.
I would say that this canister of the serum is probably about the size of this cup, basically.
Okay.
And I think about half of it is empty now.
Then
It's
she will
probably
start approaching him and tell him to step aside.
With your intimidate, I think he's just gonna step aside, begrudgingly.
Then she can take the canister.
She can take the canister.
Cool. All right. She'll take that. And another glance around just to be sure. If there's nothing that she sees, she will...
Nothing of interest, I would say.
Okay. Again, though, in this case, if there are any sorts of notes or things lying around of that nature, she'll attack them real quick. Shoot
Attack
fire.
the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, if she sees like a notepad on the counter, she'll just hands up and flame
Yeah.
it real quick.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, cool. She does that then, and then if nothing stops her, she will leave
The room or the base?
the room.
Okay,
Yeah. All good?
all good. 3 minutes before the police arrive.
Thank you, Tim. Hey, could you open this door again?
The lower one?
Yes.
Certainly. You'll open the door, and the scientists who had gotten up briefly see that you come back into the room, and they drop back to the floor.
So kind of like beckon her head toward the door and say, all right, you two get out.
They will go out with their hands up.
Cool. So it'll just be her in the room, yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure. If you can just let them out, and you can just be in the room, sure.
Cool. Okay. Then there were more samples of the serum stuff, right?
I mean, I thought you took most of them.
You said there were
Didn't you take most of them?
I thought I took like a third of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the rest of them, you can take the rest of them if you really want.
Okay, then yeah, it'll just be as simple as that. Again, then we'll torch some of the notes, and I think we'll call that one good.
Okay.
Oh, actually, though, while she's in there, since she has the table to work with and everything, she'll drop her backpack again to the side, like on the corner, and pull out just like a nice big cloth, essentially like a tablecloth kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
She'll lay it all out, and
Have a picnic.
yeah, basically. She'll just start carefully dumping her backpack onto it, the contents. So, you know, the dread plate and the toxic plate, the samples that she found, everything like that. Then she'll take off her goggles, she'll take off her necklace, she'll take off her jacket, her gloves, and she'll set all of those onto. So she's essentially at this point just in a black tee. You know, she has like compression, you know, like the arm sleeve kind of things.
Yeah.
Her shoes, cargo pants, all that. And then out of her backpack too, she'll pull her laptop and, you know, set that off to the side. With everything else on the little tablecloth on the table, she will use her storage ball to capture it. So all of that will go into the ball.
Smart.
She'll pop open her laptop and she'll start to access her PC. She'll plug in her little USB PC connector kind of thingy that we talked about.
Yeah.
And she will see about transferring her ball to her storage.
Yep. You can do that. Yep, you can do that.
Cool. Okay.
Very cool. Very smart.
So then with the ball transferred to storage, you know, she'll like as delete what history she can for good measure, turn her laptop back off, slip it back into her backpack, and then just put that back on. So now it's just her with her backpack. The Pokeball, you know, like things are gone now. So.
Yeah. Clever. All right.
And now she'll start heading back up, more leisurely than before. No longer like sprinting everywhere.
Yeah, by that point, I'll say that the 50 minutes are up and the cops are going to start trying to enter into the hideout. In fact, Tim will notify you. The Jennies have arrived and they are currently attempting to break their way into the base.
Go ahead and let him in, Tim. And at this point, lay low if you can.
Certainly. And the door, you will... Well, I guess you won't hear the door opening, but you know that you told him to open the door. You can assume that that's what he's doing.
Okay. Cool. So heading up, you know, she'll be in the vault room first, and no one's here at this point, I assume. So she'll just keep going, yeah.
Yep.
Until she's like stepping up, sort of into the common area. So like, hold on, misclicked.
Now, is your intention to just walk up in front of the cops, or are you trying to sneak your way out?
She's just kind of walking, yeah. So
Okay.
she'll be at the stairs first.
You do,
But I could
I'm
hear
gonna
commotion
say that
maybe
you
upstairs?
can hear commotion upstairs, and you can probably hear Lieutenant Jenny speaking and telling people to go search the other rooms.
Okay. Well, I think if
And
she
be
had
on guard.
time, then she'd instead go and wait here by the elevator. Just kind of like, you know, sit down with her back against the wall.
You'll be sitting there, and a couple of the officers will make their way downstairs, and when they see you just there, they'll have their weapons drawn towards you, and they will say, hands up in the air.
Yeah, she'll put them up.
And one of the other officer is going to go up to you, and they're going to start reading your rights. Are you going to resist in any way?
No, she'll let him finish.
She'll let him finish. All right. They'll cuff you, and then they will start leading you upstairs.
She will hesitate at that point. If they start leading her away from the elevator, well, she'll ask if they would stop for a moment.
Is that just... Well, what do you actually say?
You know, if they start leading her away, it's just like, hey, hold on just a sec.
The Jenny pauses. Do you say anything else besides hold on just a sec?
Then I'll say, all right, this might sound a little bit weird. Could you reach into my pocket for me? There's a key card there. You guys will probably find it of interest.
The Jennies kind of look at each other like, okay, what is this Team Rocket member playing at? We'll say, ma'am, just follow us upstairs, please. they'll ignore that portion just because I don't think they want to trust you just yet. Reach
Okay.
into my pocket. What's the worst that could happen? I'm sure you'll find something in my pockets that's of interest with you.
I know, like that one,
hmm
that one old joke. She'll follow him up.
All right. They'll take you upstairs, and when you get up to the top, Kyle is going to recognize you immediately, and he will tell the officers, "She's with me." The Jennies look at you, and then they uncuff you.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Man, a lot
They
of
do.
trust there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what the lieutenant tells them to uncuff him. They're gonna uncuff him.
Yeah. Okay.
Uncuff you.
She'll, rub her wrists a little bit and nod in thanks to the lieutenant, watching as do the other Jennies walk off, or are they still like hovering?
Yeah, the other Jennies are gonna start searching the rest of the base, and probably periodically come upstairs with more Team Rocket members handcuffed.
Okay. So once they leave, Cassie will roll her eyes a little and reach into her pocket herself and pull out the card, hold it out to him, and say, "Because they didn't believe me."
He takes the card. He looks at it, then he looks at you, and he says, "You okay?"
Yeah, so for the record, that'll access the elevators. It'll give you access to the director's office downstairs, very bottom floor. And if you take the staircases themselves, you're going to find a weapons vault and a Pokemon vault. Highly suggest you guys look into those. But in the director's suite itself, there's definitely some stuff that should be incriminating, so
He nods.
just saying, don't miss that.
Impressive. Good job.
Thanks.
How's your mom?
Yet to be seen. It's kind of complicated.
You single-handedly took down a Team Rocket base?
What can I say? I'm pretty badass.
How about the rest of you?
Well, I'm not sure where they are at this point, to be honest, but hopefully everyone's alright without me.
Did they help out?
To your knowledge, no.
Okay.
Is there anything else you need from me, Lieutenant?
He'll shake his head. No? Good job.
Thank you. Trusting you to clean up here.
He'll nod. We'll talk later.
Right, then if no one stops her, she'll leave the base.
Yep. Nobody's stopping you.
Alright. Base has been left.
All right.
Not arrested!
Yay!
Quick
Kyle
question.
knows.
Yes.
Quick question, Hark. Could we retroactively say that Molly took Butch and Cassidy's gear before leaving the base?
I'll let you do that.
So
Alright.
two in their
So
underwear now.
you just want both of those swords, right?
Yes, and their armor, if possible.
Yeah.
Would Cassie know which are the two directors' rooms, or would they have rooms somewhere else now, other than what's on the map?
Well, she knows where the director's room was before, and
Like
it's
the
the same as the
Okay,
director's
more
suite.
meant bedrooms, so spare uniforms to be found.
I mean, I'm sure there are spare uniforms around if she really wanted them. I'm sure.
We can't take things from here. Like, the police need them.
I'm more thinking cool armor for everyone. You have a fashionista on team.
Molly's
cool,
got some.
cool
don't
armor is
worry.
reserved for the Rangers.
Aw.
The armor that you get from Butch and Cassidy, they specifically give you 10 special defense and 10 defense, respectively.
Nice.
10 on top of whatever your normal special and regular defense is.
Defense and special.
So you have 2 sets of them. The only thing is, currently they have like the big giant Team Rocket symbol on them currently. So maybe with a few alterations you could change that. But and then the swords, I already gave you the properties of the swords.
Yep, got those.
Cassie, you are leaving the base, and what do you do when you leave the base? I don't think that the van that you guys were in is in view when you leave the base.
Yeah, I mean, she'll assume that they just, like drove a bit and pulled off somewhere so as not to be in line of the cops. So she'll start heading back toward, Pewter City.
We'll say that Molly and Bullet will find Cassie.
So Molly will land, and she'll invite Cassie to join her on Bullet. She'll say, "Hey, did you do everything you needed to do?"
I hope so. Yeah, but let's get out of here.
Yep. Your mom's safe, by the way.
Better be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so she'll climb on with Molly.
And then we'll head back to the hotel.
Okay, so is everybody going back to the hotel?
Well, I
Yes.
don't know what Noir and Chase are
I
doing.
think Chase is shaking his head. So where's Chase going if not the hotel?
Chase is going to ask for the van to pull over. He's getting
Okay.
off.
Oh,
You do know we're still in the woods. It'd be okay?
Yeah, Anthony and I are going to walk the rest of the way.
You're sure that's a good idea?
Yeah, that's why I got Lux.
Yeah, but I didn't plan on being in town for the rest of the day. I still have a life. I have contracts I need to sign so I can start work on Monday.
Are we going straight back to the city, or are we doing a stop off?
I had planned to go get our stuff from the hotel and go home. Unless people had stuff they wanted to computer, which no one told me.
I'd like to get home as soon
Mission
as possible.
achieved. Gestures toward Mom Pine.
I'd like to get to the city as fast as possible. I can either get a bus, or I can just keep walking through the night.
Is Cassie in the city? Because Cynthia Pine says.
Cassie will meet with us soon. Molly went to go get her.
Oh, okay, she says. And she just sits
You
there
are
smiling.
delightful, by the way.
Oh, no, you're delightful.
Oh, I like her. Why does Cassie not talk to you more?
The way she seems very like
Brainwashed.
not drunk, but like Stepford Wives. Oh, you're great. You're wonderful.
super agreeable.
Super agreeable. Oh, sure, whatever.
Oh, when this wears off. I'll stay in Pewter as long as I can, guys, but... Okay.
I'm okay with going to Peter as long as everyone doesn't leave the van until we get to the city. I would like people to stay in the van with me and Anthony until we get to the city.
Okay. You already have any of these plans, Nancy? It kind of dawns on me. We're adult napping you. We're the good guys, in theory.
You're asking Anthony that?
Yep.
No, I'm not okay with it, but I'm not being given much choice. Have I?
Where would you prefer to go?
It doesn't matter as long as I decide for myself where I go. I
Well,
don't appreciate being dragged
newsflash,
around.
the Team Rocket base is probably
Well,
going to be
Jenny's at the moment.
So you probably don't
I
want to go there. But
I have no interest in going back there now, thanks to all of you.
Yay. I'm going to take that as a moral victory.
can we not
I get so few.
adult nap him, please? Rather,
I
not
don't want to
like-
either, but Chase seems very bent on making a new friend. And Chase needs all the friends. You've met him, yes?
Can't you just give him your number? Just say, hey, call me back.
No, he'll get a number.
Why do you say things like that?
It is somewhat creepy. So am I still driving or are you two
Be
hopping?
your friend.
Driving. Driving if
Okay.
someone is willing to stay in the van until we get to the city.
Well, I imagine
want-
we'd all have to stay
if
in
he's
the
gonna-
van until we
if-
get to the city. That's how
No, I'm
driving
saying
works.
if you guys are going to the hotel to go pick everything up, he doesn't want everyone leaving the van at the same time while in the middle of the
Okay.
city with
That makes total
Yeah.
sense.
That's it.
Alrighty, not a
Once
problem.
we get to the city,
Only really one or two of us need to go in. I don't think we brought that much with us. Even I got down to a bag. which that's very unusual for me. Ugh, you are bad influences.
So you'll eventually get to the hotel, is what I'm hearing, and we'll say that
playing the whole time.
And we'll say that Molly and Cassie and Bullet will also arrive at the hotel around the same time.
Just to be sure, did Ella have anything she wanted to add before they arrived?
Yeah, just wanted to add that once we get to the city, can we just let Anthony go, or we just... Yeah.
No, absolutely not. If that was Noir talking, absolutely not.
Yeah. Noir nods and goes, "Yay, violation of free will. Totally love that."
Yay, we're
And
kidnappers.
just be very moody
Gosh,
and
darn it,
just like
Chase.
go off to the corner of the van and like not talk to anyone.
Anthony's very clear about taking away people's free will, so he's not going to get any until I'm done with him.
Uh-huh. Chase, you do know that's creepy, right?
You know I'm right here.
Exactly. You are, and I'm terribly sorry Chase is so rude.
Not that you have to verbally say anything for me to know what you're thinking.
I know. Or I can guess. Why don't you have a pin, by the way?
Don't need it. It's stupid.
Yeah, but pins for people like me that are squishy and can save their minds from people like you and Noir. It makes me feel better.
The pins make you feel better? That seemed to have like hit a nerve on Anthony. The psychic pins make you feel better so that you feel safer, so that you can actually act like a normal person? Think about what you just said, Missy. Maybe next time you should think before you open your mouth. Because the things that are going through your head right now, lady, you should not be opening your mouth half the time you do. You still want to be friends? He says with a
Yes,
smile.
actually I do.
And why?
Why not? I mean, if I just made friends with people I wanted to make friends with, do you think I would honestly talk to Chase? Or Molly? But, you know, fate forced them upon me, and I'm a better person for having them.
Are you, though?
That's why I tell myself to get to sleep every night.
Didn't you just say that you have normal things to do? You want to get back to your life? You don't want to do any of this stuff anymore?
No, I have a schedule. Sadly, this is becoming part of my normal life, so I need to try to fit it into my schedule.
Exactly. Sadly. That's the magic word there, right? Sadly. You're not particularly happy about it.
Can everyone just keep their mouths shut and get to the city?
We're still driving. I can talk and drive. And I am not going to start breaking the law and start speeding.
Anthony, keep your mouth shut.
He looks at your direction and he doesn't say anything.
Chase, not the way to make friends.
He is not a friend. He's an enemy.
How about we play a game? She said. Cynthia says.
Yay, games!
Oh, look, there's a punch bug. And she punches Anthony on the shoulder. Anthony looks over at Cynthia. And
Aww.
Cynthia just kind of smiles. Well, you're next. Anthony
She is delightful.
Looks out the window again.
Does Anthony try to read Noir's mind at any point? Because Noir would know if he tried.
No.
Okay, interesting.
Do you have a pin on right now, or you don't have a pin on?
Not right now because they're on
Not
cover.
right now? Okay.
Like she might be fixing one on, as they get closer to civilization, because she's like,
Okay.
I don't want to be arrested.
Yeah,
Listen.
probably not a good idea to wear the psychic pin into the Team Rocket case. Which would have used the psychic?
All right, so are we at the hotel now?
Yep.
Okay. Molly and Cassie are going to be there around the same time.
Yep.
So,
Hey, guys, you made it. Hops out of the van. Nora, can you stay put? Cool. Let's go get her stuff. How'd it go, Cassie?
Hey, is my mom?
Your mom is delightful. Why did you not call her young lady?
I think we both know that.
Dewey,
Pretty sure you
sir.
saw the scene.
I need to go get my stuff. Our stuff. Everyone's stuff. Chase is staying in the van with Anthony. Chase is in the van with Anthony. Have fun figuring that one out. I'm gonna go get stuff. And proceeds to head off.
Snapping the whole way.
It's a good day. She did get her head blown off. Good day.
Yay! Positives. I mean, is Cynthia outside the van?
I think when she notices you, she'll come rushing out and she'll say, Cassie! Oh, Cassie, you've made it! We were playing driving games. Well, I think I was doing most of the playing, but it was still fun, she says with a smile.
And Cassie will smile. It'll be, noticeably weaker, but she'll hold her arms out for a hug.
She'll go up and give you a big hug. Oh, Cassie, now that you're home, I can make you breakfast. What would you like for breakfast?
Maybe we should focus on getting inside first. Then we could talk about that, okay?
Actually, what time is it right now? Out of character is probably like closer to 5. It's like probably getting later in the day.
Oh, okay.
I think it's getting later in the day, right? Because, that happened in a relatively short time. We'll say it's like
we went
getting
in
to
like
lunchtime
Okay, yeah.
in the morning, right? So it's like lunchtime, getting to lunchtime.
Well, I mean, it's time enough for brunch.
I love brunch.
Then we'll see what we can make once we're finished sorting things out, okay?
Oh, wonderful. Yes. I've been wanting to get back into my old kitchen again.
Yeah, we might have to clean that place up a bit first.
Oh, whatever you say, dear.
So smiling still, but a little weaker. Just like guide her mom into the motel.
Okay.
Walk with her.
Molly didn't go in. She's kind of leaning against the van with Bullet, just kind of stroking his head. If she's standing next to Noir, she'll knock on the window, ask her to open the window.
Winds it down.
Mhm.
Welcome back.
So, is there a way we can help her?
Possibly. From the talk on the phone with X person. Don't think about it. Think about Forge.
So, what do you think our next step is? Molly's throwing caution to the wind right now, by the way.
Getting her the help she needs so she can have free will back, because that's important.
I'm gonna say that Molly is facing west at the moment, and she keeps drawing the spiral on her hand, the back of her hand.
You okay?
She looks at Noir. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at her.
Well, I kind of like mentally knocks on Molly's head.
Like trying to read her mind, or
Kind of just like a mental knock, knock, not trying to read Molly's mind, but just doing like a mental thought projection type thing.
okay.
Would this be preferable?
I don't know what to think right now, Noir. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad we got her safely. I mean, considering she's all right, I guess, but
Yeah, there's worse outcomes to have from these sort of situations.
Noir, I have a question.
Yes.
What gods do you worship?
Well, I haven't actively worshipped in a while, but I'm thinking about it. Might do a prayer tonight, but I follow Mew, most of the Johto gods, the legendary birds, legendary beasts, Ho, Lugia, and of course, I follow the mortality duo of Xerneas and Beltor, the two Kalosian gods. Kalosian gods are less cheerful than Johto gods. It's much more, they're not there to help humanity, they're more aspects of nature and existence that you should definitely agree to not piss off.
Why
Also,
do you,
Arceus. Sorry.
why do you follow those gods? Just curious.
Well, my father and my grandparents used to tell me all these stories about them. It really helped me connect to them, like even when they weren't there. And I once thought it was comforting to think that someone was out there watching over humanity, trying to help out. Yeah, for a while there, I didn't think they cared. But we're getting all these gifts and all these hints, and I think maybe these gods are different than the ones where I'm from.
Molly gets that look on her face again, the look that she had in the dream world the previous night. And she looks at Noir directly in the eye and asks her mentally, do you really think they're on our side?
They helped. I went to a church of Mew the other day. It was a long shot, but the power of Mew actually helped Remy. His condition improved near instantly, and if they're willing to help him, and as you said, the base, despite Cynthia being the way she is, she's alive. Maybe they are looking out for us. They know about these gifts. Some of us wouldn't be here.
Molly slowly nods and she says, if I go to a temple in the next few days, would you go there with me?
Okay. Which temple?
I think the Temple of Mew sounds like a good one.
Mew is one of the most compassionate of the gods.
That's what I've heard. I don't know anything about gods. I've never known anything about gods. But with all of this, it just seems to make sense. I should learn more about them.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need a crash course in them, I can send you an email.
Maybe a phone call would work better, or an in-person chat.
Yeah, I'll give you an in-person chat before we head to the temple.
Okay.
Just to fill in a few details.
She looks relieved at that. Okay. Yeah. I'll let you know. We'll see.
All right. Well, if you're thinking about going to Mew's temple, may Mew's blessings smile upon you. She kind of gives like a quick smile and then goes back to sad, well, sad neutral face.
Molly says, right back at you? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Not quite, but I think that's better.
So Molly will go back. She'll face west again and keep drawing.
What else is happening?
Get into the hotel room. Who came up with her?
Did anyone go with Tiffany into the hotel room to help gather stuff?
Maddie, Nevi?
I mean,
Maddie,
yeah, Cassie and Cynthia
Oh, right.
went, but a little
They're
later.
having their moment. Molly and Roy are having theirs. Chase is with Anthony. So I get the NPCs. Okay.
So Nevi's going to go up there with you? Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, Nevi says, I'm glad that we have a break. Actually, well, can Nevi have a little scene with Cassie first before you go into the hotel?
Okay,
hotel.
actually, since if Tiffany's just going to be by herself, that actually works better for what I was going to do.
Okay. Well, Nevi will still want to help you.
Yeah, obviously.
So she'll catch up with you.